Look, drugs aren't funny. Overdosing isn't a joke. So tell me why Mr. Krabs Overdoses on ketamine is the funniest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Please, Mr. Krabs, I'm fiending.
Look, if you've been on the internet at all recently, and I know you have, none of us have lives anymore, chances are you've at least seen something about this game floating around. At the very least, you may have seen the meme this game spawned from. According to my extensive research on knowyourmeme.com, the whole thing started in the distant year of 2019, an eon in meme time. And here it is, the image that started it all. It appears to be some sort of terrifyingly uncanny crab television set. If you take a closer look at its dead eyes, it's clear this crab has been through a lot. It may have even seen hell. But ever since this image was uploaded, all bets were off. This template was simply too incredible to just pass on. I mean, it had everything. An iconic cartoon figure we all remember, an easy-to-use template, and a hard drug that is somehow an upper and a sedative. Seriously, I looked into ketamine for this video, and it's borderline unexplainable. The whole thing's really interesting. Don't do drugs, kids. And so naturally, the meme took off. Honestly, lasting a lot longer than most memes these days. The internet just couldn't help itself. They even made this forever cursed Pickle Rick image, which I wish I'd never saw. Nightmare fuel right here. Honestly, as far as I can tell, it's just the phrase, ahoy SpongeBob, followed by something disturbing and incredibly off character for Mr. Krabs. Or honestly, maybe not. This man has some sort of addiction. He's at least begotten by the monster of greed. But this meme was restricted to picture format for far too long, until a god among men stepped in by the name of Thrill the Will. Already a living legend for his chowder animations that are honest to god art. This man understood the meme. As soon as he dropped the trailer for this game, the internet knew something big was coming. I mean, just look at this trailer. It's so cinematic. How does this not get you amped up? This alone is impressive. And on November 4th, 2020, on the infamous website itch.io, Mr. Krabs Overdoses on Ketamine was released to the world. And nothing has been the same since. That might be a little dramatic, but I don't know. The game released to critical acclaim, topping the sales charts, and finishing with a perfect 10 out of 10 from all the major review outlets. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. The game is literally free to download. But that's not to say it didn't take off in its own way. The game itself, which looks so much better than it ever needed to, has you playing as Eugene himself, who's pretty down bad by the time we find him. His life is pretty much in shambles. He's living in a motel, the only thing out of the ordinary in this otherwise pretty accurate map recreation of Bikini Bottom. Well, that and the chum bucket being really different, but more on that later. In fact, everything down to the drivable boatmobile models is weirdly professional. It makes me wonder if these were just existing models from the many already existing SpongeBob video games out there. I don't know enough to confirm or deny, or even if this is incredibly obvious. In that case, I look like an idiot right now for not knowing. In the game, you interact with the whole Bikini Bottom gang, as they appear to have been ravaged by the terrible drug of ketamine. They each send you on small missions, from SpongeBob having you collect his sweet, sweet drugs, to Patrick, who looks like he no longer fears God, instructing you to take a man's life, something that he sees as a high greater than ketamine. Did I mention this game is dark? It's really dark. You run into some other members, like Squidward, who's just chilling at the Krusty Krab, and Sandy, whose high-pitched voice is only translatable through on-screen text that moves around, because of course it does. And it ends in a hilariously anticlimactic coin toss with Plankton. Okay, wait a minute. This is just Plankton's suit from SpongeBob Hero Pants. These are reused models. I knew it. I'm smart. I swear to God. The game is kind of like a collectathon and is certainly nothing compared to the overall gimmick of just how crazy this concept is and the fact that it was executed so well. There's even like hidden levels you can get to, which blows my mind. The dedication put into this is truly impressive. It's been aptly described by many people on the internet as an interactive meme, and I feel like this is the perfect way to describe it. In fact, one of the reasons it took off is because so many streamers and YouTubers started playing it. But this was just the beginning for this timid little itch.io game. It was about to step into a much bigger arena, the world of speedrunning.
Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Holy fuck!
Ah, Mr. Krabs, you are finally here. Now, play me in a coin toss to decide my fate.
Speedrunning is an art form, but what's always captured my attention was meme speedruns. There's volumes of info on this stuff online if you're interested, but from creating the Peter Griffin me to making a burrito in real life, the idea of speedrunning something obscure or mundane will never not be funny to me. So naturally, this game found itself a perfect fit. The first public speedrun was posted by Thrill the Will himself, a playthrough from the legend at Sobo Joe, who showcases a wall glitch that allowed him to essentially skip the entire game in under 30 seconds. But lining up with the speedrun mentality, people found a way to refine it even further. By exploiting the wall glitch with the boat glitch, hoping you get extremely lucky, you can technically beat the game in sub 17 seconds. But again, it's not easy, which of course just enticed more and more people to see if they could take on this this challenge. Most notorious of this being popular streamer and overall legend Critical. He's held the record for a minute, but at this point, I don't even want to name the current champion because it changes so frequently as people keep getting better and better scores. If I were to say a name, it probably would have been outdated by the time this video's out. There's a leaderboard online you can check out to give those people credit, but I don't know who's the champion right now. It's definitely reaching peak relevance, if it hasn't already by the time this video comes out. Praying this video is still relevant, oh god. But that's why I want to take a step back and look at the big picture for a second. Sure, this game is a massive meme and showcases everything that's great about internet culture at its most creative and collaborative, but there's something deeper here. I'm talking about the very subject of parody itself. For some reason, more than any other cartoon, this show transcended relevance, from being a capitalistic merchandise icon and beloved television hit to all over every facet of the internet to the point where I am desensitized and don't even realize I'm looking at SpongeBob half the time. And not just recently, basically over and over again since as long as I can remember, in a way that couldn't be done intentionally if any person or corporation ever tried. The relevance of SpongeBob memes is truly only something that an internet hive mind could create. There's just something about SpongeBob. The shared nostalgia of watching it growing up, the fact that most of the show, especially its early run, was just so genuinely quotable. SpongeBob is this universal language we all speak. It's denatured so much and become this weird game of internet telephone, slowly morphing this property and these characters until we get something like an uncanny television set and a ketamine addiction. This and this shouldn't correlate, but they do, and it's amazing. That being said, there's also just the unexplainable nature of absurd comedy. To sit down and dissect why this is funny is as pretentious as it is unnecessary. In the game, Patrick instructs you to mow down civilians to get a high better than ketamine. The final boss battle is a coin flip that just closes the game. This whole thing is just a big meme. It's absurd, it's surreal, and it says something deeper about our culture, but also it's just a meme, bro. It's just a meme. And I think surrealism is a big factor in why a lot of these SpongeBob memes are so effective. It's just so weird, and this extends far past a free-to-download video game. There's a whole genre of strange videos online that give the uncanny and unnerving CGI meme treatment to properties both old and new, but the SpongeBob ones are especially my favorite. YouTuber Soulbrother number 3 made a series all the way back in 2015 titled SpongeBob on Wii U, back I guess when the Wii U was a thing. In this series, SpongeBob is a jaded, edgy, cynical grouch at the end of his rope.
Order up.
They wanted pickles.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
The last one, part 3, is an absolute cinematic masterpiece.
The nation's gold standard will return to prominence as the primary socioeconomic...
SpongeBob, I don't care! You burned all the Krabby Patties.
In the video, Old Man Jenkins kills everyone, Old Man Jenkins kills everyone. Literally, it's a continuation of the classic SpongeBob scene, you know, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Honestly, watching this is kind of therapeutic, but more than anything, it speaks to the fact that we all knew exactly what this was. We all remembered this scene the exact same way. This entire thing is some weird shared experience inside joke that I can't get enough of. Far from only focusing on SpongeBob content, YouTube user Pamtree is the king of these surreal and frightening interpretations, making uncanny CGI videos that I can't always get through alone. I get real scared. But the one that takes the cake, and proof that this is an entire industry at this point, king of nightmare fuel MeatCanyon, just uploaded very recently his own freakish SpongeBob animation, and this one I legit cannot get through. Holy shit. When I say this is on a separate level, like even for him, don't watch this alone, if you watch it at all. MeatCanyon, man, I love you. I respect you. You went to a dark place with this one, bro. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come back from this. They're not always scary, though. The recreation of SpongeBob, the passion that goes into these creative projects, is absolutely insane. I think the one that tops them all is the full-fledged SpongeBob anime by YouTube user Narmak. When I say this thing is impressive, I don't think words could ever fully describe the scope. He created a legitimate full anime opening. Like, the song slaps, it's amazing. The entire thing is spoken in Japanese. There's title commercial cards, and the animation and voice acting is better than actual animation studios. This isn't a meme, it's a passion project, and I want more. They even released a dub, bro, man. Give me some more, I love this. And finally, there of course is the famous Canned Coochie video. This is the best of them all. This will never not be funny. The voice acting is too weirdly spot on. I'll never be able to explain it, but this is the peak of comedy right here.
This fish needs to go hop in line, cause he needs to get himself some canned coochie.
Now, a part of the reason why this whole thing works and why it seems so genuinely funny, and I think an overall explanation for this phenomenon, is that a majority of these people are reflecting their own cynicism and dark worldviews that come with just getting older and growing up onto SpongeBob, through experiences they now have from no longer being a kid, and looking at it from an objectively adult way. The comedy comes from putting a realistic dark lens on an absurd underwater sitcom. It comes from looking at the show and thinking, you know, if this was real, Mr. Krabs would probably be consumed by greed. He'd probably be an awful person. Squidward would most likely be really depressed, a failed musician, working a fast food job and living alone, constantly annoyed by his neighbors. I mean, this is how you get legends and theories like Squidward's suicide, or this one I found on Reddit titled, SpongeBob is on speed, Mr. Krabs is his dealer, Krabby Patties contain drugs, Squidward was an addict. Oh my god. It's almost morbidly fun to look at the show like this, to imagine it as something darker than it really is. And the fact that SpongeBob itself has never really gone that dark means it's up for the audience to project onto it in a way that will be absurdly funny. Something about seeing Eugene Krabs sitting depressed on the bed, an image we've seen in the show, but this time under the context of a ketamine addiction that's left him in a motel, or seeing SpongeBob cynical and jaded instead of hopeful and always laughing. The original fan base of the show has grown up, and so now they're making the show grow up with them, and this is just the bizarre result. So what do I make of all this? What's my big closing thought? The memes, the games, the animation? Well, I guess it's less of a reflection of SpongeBob as a show and more of the versatility of creation on the internet. These are talented animators, game designers, artists, voice actors, and comedians. There's an artistry to shitposting. And yes, I feel corny for saying that out loud, but it's true. As for the mature nature of these projects, it's just SpongeBob growing up with the original fan base. I mean, all the people that grew up watching these OG episodes are now all teens and adults. These people are transforming what they know into something darker and undeniably more mature to match where they're at now. There's also comedy in the juxtaposition of taking a kid show and turning it into something like a ketamine addiction, not to mention the fact that it's just so absurd. But let's not lie to ourselves. SpongeBob was a mature show, one that never talked down to its audience, and overall had a lot of adult themes and jokes. All these definitely help its case. But look, at the end of the day, this is the internet, and SpongeBob seems to just fit in perfectly all over the place. And honestly, I wouldn't want anything more. So let's keep making animations and games and edits and memes. I say the weirder the better. But that being said, guys, I'd love to know what you think about all of this. Do you think there's any truth to this stuff? Do you like any of this stuff? Do you hate it? Let us know in those comments down below. Tweet to us at Roundtable Vids or meet us at Retro Nemo. If you want to consider supporting us, you can support us on Patreon or become a member of the channel. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more cartoon content. And as always, guys, I'm Nemo. This is a SpongeBob dissection video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.